And welcome into Corner Canyon High School for the 2023 Tournament of Champions on the Rewind Sports Network. Lone Peak versus Alta. It's also known as the Rewind Bowl, as both of these teams are part of the Rewind Sports Network. Of course, Alta joining us for their first year. And this game is Alta basketball presented on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Opal. We have to have a lot of... They've gotten on it with a lot of sponsorships. It's been really great. We'll have a lot of those throughout the night. But, Dane, our first chance to get to see Jackson Johnson as a senior.
Well, I saw him last week.
Okay, well,
and
my first chance.
He looks really good, Dusty.
Surprisingly so.
Yeah, right? I think he's on pace with like 5 or 6 threes a game through the early portion, 28 points a game. He's been phenomenal, and here he is.
Well, Johnson versus Staley's going to be a lot of fun, and there's Isaac Johnson.
Well, I think the question will be, can Isaac Staley match the scoring output? We talk about how offensive Jackson's been this year. Ike's going to have his best game of this 23-24 season if he wants to go toe-to-toe with Jackson tonight.
Up top, this is Seth Haskett.
Some new faces for Lone Peak, and you'll see Alta, that defense, it flies around.
Going down the lane is Dash Reiser, and Dash
just a sophomore, but in the starting lineup for Coach Orn, he's averaging 13 points a game. Dash has been awesome in his first year as a full-time starter.
I'm guessing he's got some pretty good home practice. As Jackson Johnson with the steal, Jackson Johnson with the dunk. Timeout, Lone Peak.
This is what Alta's done. Make it 3 for 3 hot starts for the Hawks in the early part of the year.
30-second timeout. We'll stay here. As busy week this week on the Rewind Sports Network. This is game 2 today. We're going to have 6 tomorrow. I'm back here at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, this is my 4th game this week. We'll wrap it out with an even 5 tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So it's December. That means we'll see our family in 2 weeks.
The great thing for us is that we're both at 3 games this week.
Yeah.
Just get back, get going. Don't mess around. My second time back to Corner Canyon today. That Layton Timpview game was awesome.
That was a doozy, huh?
Watch that first step.
Exactly.
So outside with Lone Peak was Jackson Taylor. Outside with Isaac Staley.
It's a Lone Peak roster. They've got a lot of talent. We saw them earlier this year. They can score with the best. Obviously, they got to quit turning the ball over. A couple early turnovers here. See if they can get a good look here on this possession.
Chamberlain Burgess, step back, nothing there. Gets it to Isaac Staley. Isaac stuck, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Got to find Jackson Taylor, 3 seconds, 2. Got to put it up and blocked by Johnson. And nope. One of the weirdest rules in basketball. You make that play, but because it happened at the horn, you can't just go ahead and go down the floor. So it'll be Alta basketball in the backcourt.
That's the only thing that's slowed up Alta in these first 90 seconds, huh? And that's where I think the Alta defense is going to cause a lot of problems this year. The length, which can play outside, but also the speed of the backcourt. It's a really tough defense to try to penetrate and score against.
Ace Reiser for 3. And Ace knocks down a three-pointer.
It's
9-0. Go ahead.
It's a team that shoots the 3 ball really well. It's the first made 3 tonight. Jackson, we talk about his hot shooting. Dash can shoot as well. They got a lot of shooters, do the Alta Hawks.
Kramer can't get that 3 to go. Chamberlain sends it out to Staley. Isaac inside out. Back up top, Kramer.
And,
I don't terribly agree with that one, but it is a charge going the other way.
Here's the thing. You can already see that length causing issues for Lone Peak because Chamberlain Burgess gets an offensive board inside. I'm thinking, man, go up with that. He feels the height there and use, hey, we're going to kick it out. We're going to try to get an open look. And because of the speed of this Alta D, they can't find one in the early part here. Johnson
sends it out to Ace Reiser. Staley goes under the screen, and Ace makes him pay. And it's 12-0 Alta to start this one.
Alta has 4 players averaging double figures. Ace, one of them, back-to-back threes here. Give him an early 6.
He's just getting acclimated. They're going to be back here next week against Corner Canyon. As I can't get that ball into Jackson Taylor, taken away. Here's Dash Reiser. Dash hands off to Ace. 2 threes in the quarter for the senior point guard. Doliak for three.
Have they missed a shot?
No, maybe one, but I can't remember it.
I can't either.
Kramer over to Burgess.
Dusty, I saw this group last week, and I was like, man, Alta might be the best team in the state. I was interested to see them match up. They beat AF. That corner game will tell us a lot. They're playing like it tonight, though.
And we have a loose ball foul on the rebound, and that is against Lone Peak. And I completely agree with you. And next week, lost a little luster. Brody Kozlowski, I don't know how much that changes. I'm just joking. Of course, I'm being facetious. Brody Kozlowski not going to be playing next week. But that game still is going to be a very good barometer for where Alta is.
It will be, and I think even if Brody Kozlowski is playing, this is still a group that can play with Corner Canyon.
Oh, absolutely. Kozlowski versus Johnson is the matchup we all wanted.
We were kind of hoping they'd be teammates, but they ruined that for everyone.
They did, too. There are a lot of schools that feel that way.
Yeah.
Jackson's inside. Oh, nice look opposite.
Oh, nice.
Burgess with the block on Doliak. First missed shot for Alta.
See if they can spark Lone Peak.
Nice take by Thomas Kramer. Sends out for three. And it hit the shot clock and out of bounds. And Seth Haskett couldn't get it to drop.
And those are the shots on a night like tonight you got to hit if you're Lone Peak. We talked about how difficult it's been to get space here early. When you get an open look like that, you got to drill it and make Alta not feel as comfortable defensively as they've been here in the first couple minutes.
No, absolutely. And, of course, only joke about the Brody Kozlowski thing. Biggest thing about Brody is that he's healthy.
Yes.
That he's here.
Yes.
As Reiser, on the three. And coming out of nowhere for that rebound was Carter Goodfellow. Ace goes down the lane, and we're going to have a goaltend, or at least a foul. He grabbed the net, so I thought maybe it'd be a goaltend.
Yeah, I actually thought they could have called that. But
Fouls on Isaac Staley. First person. Yeah, because I know we give the clarification on the goaltend all the time, but I thought grabbing the rim or the net.
I thought so, too. The bench thought so as well, but the official apparently comfortable and not awarding the goaltend. So we'll have to get clarity on that.
I'm just trying to look around to see if we have any spare officials. If Scott Robertson comes walking back out here, I'll get some clarification. But where's Courtney Littledyke when you need him?
And they are going to talk about it. Coach Orton came out, asked the official. Hey, I think it's worth the discussion. I don't remember the rule exactly.
And that was a quick conversation, but you can slap the backboard.
Yep.
On an attempt to block the shot, and that's not a goaltend. But for some reason in my head was rim or net grabbing as that free throw is no good.
Chamberlain Burgess, meanwhile, has to check out. They're looking at his hand. He was the guy who got his hand caught in the net.
I'm going to check those fingers. And they hit the second.
That was Ace at the line, right?
Yes. Kramer sends it out. Going to drive the lane, and lid is still on the hoop as Coswell could not get that one. Reiser has that ball tipped, looking into Doliak. Staley with the loose ball. And Lone Peak now a chance to maybe get in some rhythm offensively. Haskett reverses back out to Belcher. Left Belcher alone for three. He's short. And we're going to have a loose ball foul maybe on Reiser or Kramer. And it looks like Ace based on his response.
Foul against Alta, number 12, Ace Reiser, his first of the quarter on Fox. In for Alta, number 2, Cole Compton, also number 5, Matt McKee.
Coswell looks to Staley, Isaac, and there we go. First 2 points of the night for Lone Peak.
Talk about this off. Well, I was going to have a big night tonight offensively. Boy, first points for Lone Peak coming just inside of 3 to go.
Isaac with the block on Dash. Dash leaves that one short. Oh, I thought maybe he stepped out, but it's
so too.
Johnson. Fall away, no. Loose ball. And Staley with the steal. Staley ahead to Kramer. Jackson Johnson giving chase and then does relent as Kramer lays that one up and in for 2.
Good word, relent. Look at Dusty pulling out the vocab, huh?
Travel does amazing things.
When you're on a flight, you read a lot of books, and next thing you know...
You know me, it's exactly what I did. Staley with the block on Johnson. And Goodfellow fouled on the drive. I didn't see if they were giving him the shots or not.
Yeah, they are.
They are. He is in his habitual shooting motion. Glad they uploaded that early on.
It's important to get that submitted as soon as you can.
Most important thing. And we want to thank Door to Door Millionaire, our free throw sponsor. If you're in a home service industry looking to break revenue records in 2024, Door to Door can help you do it. Go to lennygray.com. Schedule a free consultation by scanning the QR code or going to lennygray.com. Again, it's lennygray.com. I can tell you this. I know Lenny Gray, and I know a family member of mine that worked with Lenny. Good dude. Still remembers him, absolutely.
Talk about leaving an impact. Still remembers him? That's awesome. Nice follow.
Baseline, no. And Johnson.
And that's the young man, Jackson Taylor. I expect to have a big year this year. Hasn't quite found his shot yet. It'll come. That'll be a big piece for Lone Peak.
And Goodfellow knocks down the three.
And that's where we talk about all the shooters they have. Reiser, Johnson, they headline it. But there's other guys that can contribute with that outside shot, including Goodfellow.
Stuck here offensively, still looking for options. Nice job of staying alive. Bird just missed it. And you saw there's that backboard slap that's not a goaltend in high school, maybe affecting that just a touch, but it's not anything on there. And what am I doing? Handel's Ice Cream. What am I thinking? Handel's Ice Cream is our 3-point sponsor. And a good choice of people who did that 3-point sponsor. That shot does not go. Ace Reiser gets a double scoop every time he makes a three.
I was going to say, hey, when you make a three, it's time for a triple scoop.
There you go. Jackson Johnson. Buckeye's my favorite. It's the only time I ever say Buckeye with a smile on my face.
I don't know. I said Buckeyes a lot this weekend with a smile on my face.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Except for when I talked to intern Kenzie. Oh, and Chamberlain, count the bucket. Give him 2 points.
You know, I like intern Kenzie, but apparently we have to have a heart-to-heart about her selection of teams.
That's exactly what I said to her. I love you to death, Kenzie, but man, we're on opposite sides of the world. So Chamberlain at the line for the +1 opportunity. Back rim's a free throw. And we have a foul on the rebound there on Logan Belcher.
Right. That was the 5th foul, I believe, yeah. So guess what, Dusty? All right. I've had some conversations the last 2 weeks. I'm not a fan of this rule change.
Of this one?
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
I like it that we're not going into next quarter with 5 fouls, guaranteeing ourselves a whole quarter of free throws.
That's fair. Let me tell you another perspective. I've seen teams that are uber aggressive to start, and now you're shooting free throws the back 4 minutes of every quarter.
Yeah.
I think
it's an adjustment that has to be made a little bit, as that first free throw is no good. Again, go to lennygray.com. If you're in a service industry, a door-to-door millionaire. That's a great book, by the way. As someone who was in the door-to-door industry for a little bit, made all of my reps read that book. And we weren't even part of Lenny Gray. lennygray.com. I think teams will adjust to it, but I love we're not going into second quarter with 5 fouls.
Well, here's the other dynamic. When you don't have 5 fouls, I know teams that are just going to start fouling late to try to wear down the clock.
Sure. Well, I had a game earlier this week that I don't know if they realized where they were in the foul situation and only had 3 team fouls with under a minute left. And then down the stretch, they had still give a foul up down 2 with 6 seconds left, and they had 4 fouls and no timeouts left. So you got to learn to manage them.
Yep, that is true.
But I do love it. We're going to reset it because you know my thing. We're going to like, oh, here we go. Whole second quarter, we're shooting free throws.
Yeah, I understand that. I do miss the 1-on-1 though.
I'm really miss the 1-on-1.
It's like an old friend who took a new job and moved away.
I remember when you went to Idaho. It's exactly how I felt. What do we do? Similar feeling. 20 seconds left in the quarter. Dash Reiser. Dash To Johnson.
Remember, this was 15-0 to start.
Oh, Jackson Johnson. Oh, man, that kid is so good. The future Utah Ute. Kramer at the horn, and that'll do it. At the end of one, Alta 23, Lone Peak 8. Thank you for you're watching Alta Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Opal. Do you have marble countertops? Do they stain and etch easily? If you don't want to worry anymore about stains or etching, contact Opal Luxury Surfaces and see how their state-of-the-art Stone Stellar technology can help. Stone Steeler technology can change your life forever. Find us online or on social media at Opal Luxury Surfaces and OpalLuxurySurfaces.com and mention this ad to receive $200 off. Again, that's OpalLuxurySurfaces.com or find them on social media at Opal Luxury Surfaces, not services, surfaces. End of one. We'll be right back. You're watching a Rewind Game of the Week. Start of the second quarter. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. Lone Peak and Alta Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. It was a blistering first quarter for Alta, and it continues here. Bo Compton with the Handles Ice Cream three-pointer. Talk about a great sponsorship. That's 5 threes in the first half, or probably 6 threes in the first half.
I have a feeling they're going to get their money's worth.
No. Thomas Kramer, a little long. Riser leaks out. Ace tracks it down. Oh, gee. Gets it to Compton.
That's Gary Payton-esque. Just got to go through the legs next time.
Blake Tillotson-esque.
Hey,
3 in the corner. No. And out of bounds, and we'll stay here as they're going to call that off of Jackson Taylor. Yeah, GP, I don't know if I've ever seen a highlight of him doing that. I've heard of him doing it.
You haven't seen the highlight? The through the legs?
Of course I've seen
Okay.
But you tell me about it.
I was like, it's like you didn't follow my Twitter in 2013, Dusty.
We had like 10 followers each at that point. Drop it inside. This is Zach Papke, and Papke with the Handles three.
Zach, don't call me Papke there. I called him Papke last week. That's my bad. Papke. Talking about, again, the versatility they have from long range. It's been impressive.
And you talk about things just not going your way, and right now for Lone Peak, nothing is going their way.
Well, 21 of Alta's 29 points coming from beyond the arc here in this first half. And, oh boy, it nearly had another opportunity. Other than that, they've played them pretty even, but there have been a lot of turnovers. Things just haven't been able to get things going for the Knights.
Johnson did not get the three to go. Chamberlain Burgess. Transition three for Chamberlain, no. Keeping it alive. It was Dolyak, rather, was tracking that down, and Dolyak dribbles it out of bounds. And finally, a bounce goes away of Lone Peak as they'll get the basketball.
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing for Alta. We talk about their speed. But, man, I mean, even that, you're trying to save one, and Alta nearly comes away with a turnover. They're just so quick at every position, laterally, vertically, long. Seen that on display the first 10 minutes.
Drop it inside to Burgess. Chamberlain, yeah, he traveled. Beginning of the year, he can't hear me. I was trying to yell it loud enough.
Yeah.
If it's a basketball game, Coach McAllister's at it. Just like if there's a Yankee team to complain about, Coach Tucker zeets about it. If there's a basketball game, Randy McAllister's here. There they heard us. And another Handles three. This one for Bo Compton. Another one for Bo Compton.
That's the 8th three now for Alta.
The creamiest ice cream you can get. Dusty's recommendation, the Buckeye. Go to Handles Ice Cream. This is the one by Shields, by the way. The one by Shields off 114 South.
Corner Canyon fans go to In-N-Out. Alta fans need to go to Little Handles, huh?
They both go to In-N-Out just to make sure
they?
we know. Yes,
they
do.
All right.
It is a battle for In-N-Out. Juan Diego has a sliver, but it's there. Compton tracks that one down. They should be going to Handles. Just not as much seating as In-N-Out.
Certainly less calories that late at night as well. So
three on the way.
Of course.
And Ace Riser. I think he knows the people at Handles. Another Handles three.
Man. Find me space on the floor right now.
Yeah.
It's just
Johnson jumps the passing lane. Chamberlain Burgess is back there. Jackson, no. Chamberlain says, my uncle says you won't play if you go after me right now. Jackson got a piece of that ball on the power dribble. Dolyak sends it across to Papke. Papke to Johnson, over to Ace. Oh, and Ace takes it.
Oh. Wow. Right now, I'm just hoping Ace is okay. Hard contact there. Took it first in the thigh and, well, first on the wrist and then on the thigh. And make it even worse, going to be called for the offensive here. And I think that's number 2 on Ace.
Let's make sure it's understood. Ace is hurt because of the swipe before the contact.
Yeah.
That's why my microphone is softly down on the top of the table.
Incidental contact.
Sure.
Apparently.
Okay.
There's a slap heard throughout the gym.
I'll take your word for it. Thomas Kramer. We have a great relationship with the officials. I've been making it a point to go talk to him as there's a foul. Carter Goodfellow going to pick up the foul. That's on the swipe more than anything else.
I can even verify. Before this game, Justin said, hey, Mr. Official. And they actually talked for a good 2 minutes.
Yeah, I've known him for...
I mean, to think about the progress you've made is
You were here this afternoon. I made sure I walked across. I'm getting a Boulder tool belt placed on an official because he's a contractor. The other, I talked about his facial hair. I was like, look at you, early season goatee. He goes, as long as it's well kept, I think we're going to be good. And I'm like, all right. And we talked and went over some stuff.
I'm just looking for that official to wear his Boulder bag while doing a game.
Ooh.
I mean, you want to talk about promo, there we go.
All right, well, I think we'll get that taken care of. Goodfellow over to Compton. Into Dolyak. A lot of pressure there. Dolyak turnaround, no. Rebound. Taken by Ty Coswell. Thomas Kramer. Got inside a dash riser. And Kramer takes advantage of the size.
Kramer's had the best offensive first half for Lone Peak. 8 points for him to lead the way. Hasn't been intimidated going inside.
Dash riser, no. And the rebound taken by Isaac Staley.
This is where it can be hard. If you fall in love with that three a little too early, teams can work their way back in. It's a long hill to climb for Lone Peak.
Again, no space. Isaac with the steal. Goes back up and in. And Isaac's as big as he looks like. We saw him down there. He's a big dude.
He looks like an adult.
Yeah. He's got the Staley genes, that's for sure. Of course, his cousins go to Corner Canyon. His dad, Dustin, and his uncle both play at BYU. His Goodfellow goes over the backboard. His uncle has the biggest calves I've ever seen still. Witt has nothing on Luke Staley's calves. Let's make sure that's understood. He may not have a Zeet handle, but yeah.
Maybe you should create one.
Ooh, that's timely. As Jackson Johnson, probably Jackson Taylor has that one tipped away and taken away. Compton on the run. Compton gives it up. Dolyak at the rim. And Dolyak lays it in. Alta coaches wanted a foul on the hip check.
Well, you got a couple players going to the floor here for Alta. And it's early in the year. Yeah, you'd like to try to cut some of this down.
Coswell has that ball go out of bounds off of Alta. But assistant coaches got to beware. You're not really allowed to stand up and come out of your seat.
Even Coach Oren just gave him a hand. Hey, we're fine. It's all right. We're good. In fairness, Dusty, you and I are both standing. They're probably just trying to, follow after
Dusty
our
and Gain can do it. Wipe off the three. That's not quite a Dick Bavetta wipe-off three from the 98 finals. That's what Dick Bavetta thought happened. It didn't happen. He thought it happened. I'm not mad about it. Still. Coswell hands back to Boston, to Colt Caton. And how about Thomas Kramer? Last year he was an outside guy, and Kramer now with some points in the paint. Dash riser, no. Rebound to Staley.
One of the things for Lone Peak, the last year or two has been finding that consistent interior presence. And while Kramer may not be the guy you'd think could do that, he's showing that muscle, that ability tonight.
How about Goodfellow? He timed that up.
Yeah.
Dash riser. Oh, he misses the bunny. Got to keep the youngster up, though. We're all going to have those moments, no matter what we do. Kramer over to Coswell. Coswell to Taylor. Jackson. Out to Kramer. 15 on the shot clock. Jackson Taylor for 3.
There it is. Talk about expected him to take a big next step this year. He can be as locked in from the outside as a shooter you'll find. And look, Lone Peak, they're not giving up.
Oh, down 18. 30-second timeout. Again, gives us a chance to thank our presenting sponsor of Alta Basketball, and that is Opal. Do you love your marble countertops but are afraid of letting others use them in fear of staining or etching them? Opal Luxury Surfaces can take care of this concern with their state-of-the-art stone sealer technology. You never have to worry about stains and etching again. Find us online or on social media at Opal Luxury Surfaces and OpalLuxurySurfaces.com. Mention this ad and get $200 off. And we want to thank Opal for their support of Alta Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. Well, 37-19, Alta leads Lone Peak. I'll give you a schedule of everything else we got coming up this week. How about tomorrow? Ridgeline girls at Lone Peak girls. That game's going to be awesome. Highland at Davis. Highland, a young team, going up against Davis. Davis trying to bounce back in the Pleasant Grove game. Springville at Alta. Now, you want to get a little preview for the 5A state tournament. That's a good one. Dane will be at that one. Skyline at Copper Hills and Arborview. Oh, mercy. Arborview going to be coming in after that big win tonight to take on Lone Peak. Arborview's got a dude. So out of the timeout, dash over to Ace. Ace goes in to Johnson. Jackson looks opposite, finds Goodfellow. And that's a Goodfellow carrying out what he needs to. Jackson Taylor back-to-back threes.
I told you, once he's dialed in, look out. And good to see Lone Peak get some rhythm here late in this half.
We'll see if Statue of Wit on the X app is going to break his normal tweeting or zeeting if he gets going. On the baseline, Johnson, no. Jackson got it back up and in. And count the bucket. He'll go the line.
And this is where, obviously Alta has been looking for that outside shot a lot in this first half. But I'd love, hey, look, last couple of possessions, haven't been able to find that outside consistency. Get inside, use some of your length, your quickness. Johnson does that, and a chance here for the three-point play he's able to convert on.
.30 seconds. Hands back to Taylor. About 3 second difference between game and shot. Taylor hands off to Kramer. Three seconds. 2. Kramer. Off on time. They say yes, and it crawls in. It'll be the final shot of the half.
I did not think he got that away, but
no review here.
Yeah, Coach Orr didn't think so either, but they do count it.
Hey, we're going to count it. Oh, yeah, we don't have a review. Well, there it is. We go to the break. It's Alta 42, Lone Peak 24. You're watching Alta and Lone Peak basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. And welcome back to Corner Canyon High School, Alta basketball, presented by Opal on the Rewind Sports Network. Of course, Lone Peak, also part of the Rewind Sports Network. One of our longest relationships. Of course, Lone Peak football was one of the originals. Lone Peak basketball started thereafter. And Lone Peak girls. Nancy Warner, one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
Or our absolute favorite. Shouldn't single that one out.
Yeah.
Chamberlain Burgess. Thought maybe have something there, and we got a reach-in foul on Isaac Staley. I think it's foul number 2.
In fact, we'll have Lone Peak girls basketball for you tomorrow night.
I'll be
taking
there.
On, well, look, you're going to get some of the best players in the state on the same floor on the same night. That's a great game.
Can we give you a little flex?
Yes.
How about Kaylee Woolston? 58% from 3
Is that
this
good?
season.
Is that good?
Just a smidge. I think 91 from the line.
That's a better three-point percentage in college than high school.
Right?
That's like my GPA.
I sent a text to somebody that we had a conversation with, and they said, I don't remember where our conversation was, but I'm sure I was dead wrong. I said I was like dead wrong.
But wrong.
I was like, but, I was right.
And then he put on his little plush hat and walked around, I'm the whiz, I'm the whiz.
That's exactly what happened. At 3 o'clock in the morning in Qatar. It was that night that I was helping you get set up here at 3 a.m. there. As Chamberlain Burgess skipped to Jackson Taylor. Oh, Jackson getting that one to go. That's out of bounds. Off of
Lone Peak foul, actually.
Oh, they have a foul
Yep.
on Kramer.
His third, Dusty.
See, I think rules committees have to committee about something, so you can't reset the fouls and then give them an extra foul. That has to happen in next year or the year after. The high school kids get to the 6th foul since we reset fouls and quarters.
Yeah. Well, there are strategies to work around that, and I know some coaches, they've talked to me about their strategies, and they're not bad. No. Anyway, that's where we'll end.
Kramer with the steal. Dolyak back. Kramer goes at him and gets the foul. Had really no option. Logan Belcher, give him credit, ran it down the floor. And a good job of Kramer, got inside, got the foul on Dolyak.
I continue to love how aggressive Thomas Kramer's been tonight. I feel like last year he was a nice contributor, but tonight it's been Kramer's show, and he's been fantastic. And I think as Burgess finds his rhythm as the season goes on, as Ike as well, like that can be a really good three-headed monster with then components from a Jackson Taylor, even Ty Coswell, others as well. So be fun to watch this Lone Peak kind of round itself out.
4 of the 5 guys in white are coming back next year. Now, granted, I said that last year too, but that's really where you are. Ace Reiser sends that ball out. Goodfellow, no. Isaac Staley. He can hit that shot. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound to Dolyak. Corner Canyon coming up next on the Charger TV. Ace Reiser. Oh, lost the handle going down the lane. Jackson Taylor. Oh. Yeah, good one, Jackson. Johnson getting his face out of the way there.
Yeah. No need to have braces a second time. I actually love Lone Peak. I mean, you talk about how many threes they gave up in that first half. What was it, 8, I think? Look, defensively, they continue to be right in the grill. They've really amped up their pressure and haven't conceded a bucket here to start. Obviously, Lone Peak hasn't scored a ton yet, but it's nice to see them, again, trying to use that defense to help ignite the offense and find their flow tonight.
Kramer going to get fouled. Call for a foul, clearing out number 4 on Thomas Kramer.
That's where, what do you do if you're Coach Ross? It's been your offensive cog tonight, but yet with 4, he's aware. On the floor.
I think now he just realized it was his 4th. He heard it, it didn't hit him.
If I'm Alta, you go right at it.
Dash Reiser sends out to Ace. Ace with Burgess. Takes him off the dribble, send it out, Dash Reiser. The 3 won't drop. Ace gets the rebound. Fresh shot clock.
The Risers were out at Copper Hills this week watching Isaiah. It's been a good week for the Risers.
Yes, it has. Ace misses point blank on the drive. Quickly back is Isaac Staley. Angle 3, yes. And Isaac Staley can turn it on offensively. They can get scary.
It's a 13-point game right now.
Oh, man, Doliak, that was a tough angle.
Very tough angle.
With some magic touch.
That's where length helps, right? You're kind of trailing, drifting behind the backboard, able to get that big reach to get a shot away.
That was a deep cut for the Doliak family. That is good fellow. Michael was drafted by the Orlando Magic. Ace Reiser. Down the lane. Thought for a second he left it short. 2 points for Ace Reiser. As we are midway through the third. Cross court. To Seth Haskett. Isaac Staley, back rimmed. Jackson Johnson. Yeah, the 3 ball has gone away here in the third quarter.
It has.
And you got to make hay while the sun is shining.
It's really kind of second half of that second quarter when it started to go cold from long range.
Try to get that into Burgess and Jackson Johnson. This is what really fuels Alta. It's not the 3 ball, it's a defense.
Well, and I think, even in that first quarter, Alta was able to create offense on the run. And Lone Peak now racing back. You're not getting as many fast break opportunities for Alta here as well either.
Whipped inside to Johnson. Staley with the steal. Here comes Kramer. Thomas gives it up to Burgess. Blocked away by Doliak. And now a foul. And that's on Kramer. And Coach Ross got a... There's a coach from the first game today that said if he was here, he'd be like, I didn't come that far away from the coach's box earlier with a little bit of punitive punishments.
Wow, huge foul. Look, Kramer's still on the floor.
Hold on, they gotta fix this.
Whoa. Well, and here's where Coach Ross is like, I'm supposed to have a minute to make a sub. He never brought a sub to the table. They never called him on.
Hey, let's get this. This is week 2 for officials, too, in basketball. I didn't recognize any of these officials from our top 50 coverage.
Well, and poor Kramer, he's kind of standing by Coach Ross like, wait, didn't I foul out? What am I doing?
Well, then they give the ball.
Yeah.
Because here's the other part. If it was on the officials, then we'd have a technical foul on Coach Ross for allowing an ineligible player on the floor.
Correct.
Now they got their 5 on the floor. No Hoosiers moment here. Is Reiser no. And loose ball foul on Jackson Johnson. Or probably Jackson Taylor.
Yeah.
It's Drew Matt McKay. Hey, how about that? Another 2-sport athlete. We celebrate 2-sport athletes. Speaking of which, Bodie Sparrow.
Yes.
Good basketball player too.
Yeah. Is he back?
Bessinger. Yeah, he played on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. I did Davis early on. Coach says he's going to work his way back. Was still kind of healing from football. Great to see him on the hardwood.
I think he learned that freshman basketball is a little different than playing freshman football.
Yeah?
In that you can't hear anything anybody says to you on the football field, but you definitely get an earful on the basketball court.
Yeah.
His first shot got tugged a little bit, and PG straight student section.
Let him know.
Let him hear it. Then he came back and said, I had a really good second half.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, in case you didn't know, Dusty thinks he's one of the best wide receivers in the state. I came right from Dusty Lidster.
Definitely the best freshman wide receiver. I had to share that with Moose.
In 4 years, I hope you put that on a white poster board.
Oh,
yeah.
I still have it in my car.
If you know, you know. Yeah,
I have it in my car. Yeah. I was hoping to see Eric today. Oh, nice back cut. Logan Belcher. From where this game could have been to where it is, Lone Peak got blitzed.
Yes.
Let's see if they can continue to play good defense. As Compton off on the 3, tipped out by Papke, got it back. Dash Reiser runs the baseline. Papke for three. There is a seal on this end of the floor.
It was 15-0. Lone Peak has played them near even since that point.
Coswell. Oh, beautiful ball movement. Movement out of the basketball, and Cole Caton lays it in.
That all stars Coswell, that pass out, and good recognition there by Caton, seeing that lane open, taking advantage.
Reiser sends out to Johnson. No passing crash on that contact. And now Coswell will pick up the foul, and that'll put Reiser at the line for free throws.
Second personal on Coswell there.
And of course, our free throw sponsor, Door-to-Door Millionaire, and LennyGray.com. If you're in the home service industry and looking to crush your revenue records in 2024, Door-to-Door can help you do it. D2D Millionaire has been helping home service companies build successful door-to-door programs since 2003. Lenny Gray, author of the Door-to-Door Millionaire, and his team can customize a door-to-door program for any home service. Schedule a free consultation by going to LennyGray.com. Belcher. All needs to keep moving. Belcher misses that shot. Here comes Reiser. Ace. There you go. Reiser gets in the lane.
Both teams right now looking a little deep on the floor. Ooh. Papke nearly coming away with it, but we're seeing some of the depth. Bench players here with an opportunity to make some plays. And you talk about Lone Peak, that ball not moving, not a lot of player movement, not freeing up a lot of room. Kind of stagnant, and Ace able to take advantage there for Alta.
I'm most surprised. There's a player from the fall that I have not seen come on the floor that was listed from Lone Peak. I don't want to name names, but I remember we were doing games at Slickmec. I don't remember him at Lone Peak. I'm not seeing him on the bench either.
I'm excited for the quarter break to find out who this is.
Belcher up top. That's Mitchell. Near side with Seth Haskett. Caton with 15 on the shot clock. Sends it back out to Mitchell. Mitchell drives. Back to Belcher. Haskett is fouled on the drive. Okay for Alta. Only the third team foul. As Staley and Burgess will come back on.
That'll reset the shot clock. So now shut down the shot clock is.
Into Burgess. Out to Isaac Staley. Able to keep it, but now taken away by Ace Reiser. Burgess on the chase. Reiser reverses and scores.
I don't know if there's a player who's better on the run in space than Ace Reiser.
Ryland Jones reincarnate in many ways. 5 seconds. Caton backing down. Traveled. Reiser with 3. 2. Reiser at the horn. Switched hands and nearly got it. We go to the fourth quarter. It's all Alta. Alta leads 53-33 on Lone Peak. You're watching Lone Peak and Alta basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back into Corner Canyon High School, the Tournament of Champions. Lone Peak basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. Year 3 with Lone Peak basketball. Ever since Isaac and Chamberlain were freshmen. As Ace goes to Jackson Johnson. Jackson inside to Doliak. Beautiful action.
Man, it's nice to have 2 tall guys, huh? Lone Peak actually defends that pretty well.
They changed from the script. How do you feel about that?
Alta?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a traditionalist as well, so I'm good with this.
Okay. I love the trim.
Yeah, it looks good.
Wrong colors, but I love the trim. I joke. I have more red, black, and white stuff. You've all seen it on Rewind. Burgess with 8. Burgess with 6. And Chamberlain, I think those are his first points tonight.
Second? Yeah, scored in the first quarter. But yeah, it's been slim pickings for him offensively.
Belcher with Doliak gets it to Johnson. He's fouled by Staley. Number 3 on night.
Of course, the test continues for Alta. They'll make the long bus ride home and return to action tomorrow night hosting Springville.
Great 5A preview.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be a really interesting game.
Sundrup and crew.
And Miller. I'm excited to see him play. New addition to Springville, so can't wait to see what Coach Snell has in store for the defending 5A, well, as they take on the defending 5A champs.
Burgess, they wanted to carry. I don't think he stopped the ball, but didn't need to take the 3 and misses it. And Burgess with a steal. Chamberlain to Staley. Isaac, pull up inside the arc, and he does have good touch. I mean, that's a little bit of a lucky touch, but he has very good touch.
Yeah.
For such a big guy.
Yeah.
Can't get that one. Staley on the board. Staley intercepted by Johnson.
That's a tough one. You get the run out there for Lone Peak, and I like the idea of trying to be aggressive. Not often you got to throw that over a 6-7 stretch, but that was the case, and nice job by Alta defensively. I think the way they started, so much defense, had a lot of steals in the early going. Lone Peak's done a nice job to kind of reel that in to that last possession. Johnson turnaround won't go. There's Mitchell leading the run out. Caton coming up just short. Ooh. Compton there thought about the sneaker bounce pass.
As Ace Reiser hits that one, and a timeout on the floor. We'll take it too, get everything sorted out on our system. We'll be right back. You're watching Alta and Lone Peak basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back in. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart. How about this? Tino Psyche. That's why it looks so sharp on the screen. And then Reagan Litster running the system tonight.
Hey.
She's been training tonight.
How about the Litster family supporting old Papa? Yeah.
I feel old to tell everybody this is my daughter. As Ace has that one stolen. No, got it back.
What we got to do is convince her teachers to give her credit for this, huh?
There we go. She's also got it's her first one. She's going to get settled in. Dad's probably being a little too hands-on. Just wait until it gets out there. Clock's unofficial. Dad keeps messing up his daughter. And now.
If it makes you feel better, Dusty does the same thing every game, so.
If Kenzie were here, she would say, Dusty does that to me too. It's just her first one. Make sure it's right.
Yeah.
She's done a great job. Jackson quickly into Chamberlain. Chamberlain, skip. Isaac Staley. That was online.
Look good.
Mitchell with the rebound, sends it back up top to Burgess.
I love that quick pass as well from Jackson Taylor. I think Lone Peak, when that ball is flying, it creates better opportunities for them.
Chamberlain can't get that one to go. And Ace Reiser going to back things out. Caton out there with him. Back up top with Dash Reiser. Ace on the drive. Ace with the foul. No call on the floor. Could have put Ace at the line. I want to thank Mighty Dog Roofing. They're our dunk sponsor. We had a dunk early on. Welcome back in. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart. I want to apologize for any technical issues. Just realized we had a network issue. So we did have to restart the stream. So we apologize. You had to refresh or come back on. A little hiccup in the internet. Can't control that, but try to fix it as quickly as we noticed it. Only 2:39 left in this one. Alta running away. And they came out of House of Fire. They cooled off, but it's just too much to overcome if you're Lone Peak.
Well, that's where, look, it was a tough start for Lone Peak, but you got to appreciate that they've hung in there and battled, right? And for Alta, I think it's going to be a season where they overwhelm a lot of teams early on. Can you hold off, right, and stay with them through that spurt, whether it's first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, whenever? Can you hang in there with them to put yourself in a position late to be able to make plays and get a win? And I mean, if they play like they did tonight, the answer, there's not a lot of teams that can.
No. And I mean, the thing is, in 5A and 6A, there are cornerstone teams in both of those classifications. Of course, Alta, the reigning 5A champion. We're going to get to look at tomorrow night against Springville, team we think could challenge them because of size and style of play. Could be a little different. Olympus, how about Orem? Down 17 points at the half, came back and won at Olympus.
You know, Dusty,
Chase DeVita in his second year.
While you were out riding camels and sand dunes, I saw Orem play Corner Canyon. That game was close. And look, I know Corner doesn't have Kozlowski, but like Orem is really tough. And that comeback against Olympus this week was super impressive.
And Chase DeVita, that guy gives a rip. Well, and that's a lot in high school sports.
You add in a guy like Jax Allen when you return Wesley and so many guys around it. Man, they got a lot of pieces.
Yes, they do.
A lot of pieces.
And the team will just get better.
Yep.
Taylor with the steal, can't get the three. And with someone like Wesley, you got a big piece down low. You got guards. You got
Asher Young.
Oh, and I love Asher Young, too. But 5A's got so many. Of course, Olympus will be there. You saw Bountiful last night.
Yeah.
Gus Pena.
I mean, I'm telling you, it was their lowest scoring game of the year. They scored 72. So that is a different Bountiful team. They fly up and down the floor. They're long. And you talk 6A. I think 6A is really good at the top two. Layton, to me, has been super impressive. Man. They're not 100%.
Wait till David Katola steps on the floor.
Davis looks really good this year early, too.
You know who has the smallest team in the history of their school? PG.
Really?
It is not your typical Pleasant Grove team. It is guard friendly. He was going to old Mark Dubois, except it wasn't blue and white and make him up. It was line changes.
Wow.
And they were all guards forward level. I mean, it was, I'm like, wait, where's the 7-foot guy? Where's the 6'5" guy? There wasn't one. I loved that team. It was a lot of fun. That game Davis PG was so much fun to call the other night. As we had a foul, going to put Coswell at the line for free throws.
I think even as good as Corner Canyon will be with their new pieces, and when Brody gets healthy and gets back, which we hope certainly happens, I actually think there's great competitiveness in both 5A and 6A at the top this year. Should be a great season.
I think so, too. I think we're going to have some surprise teams as well. I'm excited. Highland going up. Well, we're going to chance to see Highland and Skyline.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two teams I think could be in the mix in this region with Alta. Not challenging Alta, but that 2-down spot.
Yeah. Well, just FYI, Alta's back here on Tuesday to take on Corner Canyon. We had someone message us. They're like, that's going to be a top 60 game nationally.
Yeah.
So come on out to Corner Canyon Tuesday night, folks.
I was saying, Alta's
not going to want to miss it.
Alta's just getting acclimated.
Yes.
Because this is not like their gym at home. Now, granted, if Coach Orn really wanted to get them acclimated, make them feel like they have something right behind the backboard, he just lifts the curtains.
Right. Bring the bleachers over and call it good.
And then bring them back and just say, hey, now the floating rim, get used to it. Let's. Luke Roberts.
Coswell.
And I'm guessing Mama Roberts is one of our good helpers here at Alta Basketball. Just assuming. Tori's terrific.
Good name.
Absolutely. A name like Tori, she's got to be nice.
That's right.
The sweetest people on earth named Tori. This is Blake Hansen. Blake sends it back out to Roberts.
Wasn't there a Blake Hansen back in the day for Alta when we first started?
Blake Tillotson.
Ah, okay.
And you're thinking
they had a Hansen, though.
Hansen.
Yeah, Braden, that's what it was.
All-American offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And a basketball player is why you remember that, too. In that infamous Davis game.
Yes.
He fouled out, and that's when that game changed.
That's when Dusty
got in trouble.
Strong takes.
Dusty got in trouble. Stratton McCausland caused a lot of problems for me without even me knowing. Got me in a little bit of trouble. We didn't do Alta basketball games for a couple of years. Look at us now.
The voice of Alta. Who would have thought?
Football, yes. On the drive. Oh, floater didn't go for Boston Gray. Tracked down and on the run, Lone Peak. Corner 3 for Jackson Taylor. And the rebound.
Hey, look, another 6'7" guy for Alta.
Yeah, how about that? Ty Mahi.
Oh, only 6'5". My apologies. Yeah. I didn't mean to exaggerate there.
Definitely not Reno Mahi's son. Only Reno's got kids that tall. 5 seconds.
Impressive night for Alta. My goodness, from the get-go. Came out, made a statement, delivered.
Absolutely. Final score, Alta 64, Lone Peak 40. Dane, your final thoughts and selection of a player of the game.
Well, we talk about Alta. They made 8 threes in the first 12 minutes. They didn't make a 3 the rest of the game. Pretty crazy, but man, that three-point barrage was something to see. Ace Reiser, fantastic night. Led them, hit a couple threes early, paced them in the second half. Ace is my player of the game. Love the no give up in Lone Peak. It's a team that will get better as the season goes on, but just didn't quite have enough tonight.
Absolutely. Again, want to thank Opal for being the sponsor, the presenting sponsor of Alta basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. Are you tired of stressing over ruining marble countertops that spend you thousands of dollars on? That stops now with Opal Luxury Surfaces. Find us online or social media at Opal Luxury Surfaces and OpalLuxurySurfaces.com. That's surfaces.com. And mention this ad to receive $200 off. Again, Ace Reiser, our player of the game. Congratulations to Alta. Get a big win over Lone Peak. For Dane Stewart, Tino Psyche, and Reagan Litster, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and for watching Alta and Lone Peak basketball on the Rewind Sports Network.